Josh, thank you so much for joining me. Let's dive in and start with who you are and what you do.
It's great to be with you again. Yeah, so I'm a pastor in Colorado. I've been serving at this church for 10 years and trying my best to manage all things by myself. Prior to having Inbox done, I did have a great virtual assistant prior to my experience with you guys, but I still was drowning and so reached out to you guys for help. And you've been with me for just almost 2 years. I think it'll be at the beginning of next year.
Yeah, that's great. What was your situation? You explained a little bit there how you were
Yeah.
drowning in email. What was like the day-to-day life running email and the other tasks you were doing before you met us?
Yeah, sure. If you think of a pastor's role, we're highly responsive or reactionary to people's needs. So I get emails all the time from people in the church that were in need of really intense care, or sometimes it was just something that they wanted to tell me about their experience on the weekend at the service. I also opened a biblical counseling center here, and so I was overseeing many different counselors and dealing with counselees. And so we had that going, in addition to many other entrepreneurial things that I was involved in. All that to say, the emails were overwhelming. We also have a radio program, so we're hearing from people on the radio and just keeping up with people, whether it was, hey, I love that sermon, or hey, I really need help, or hey, so and so's in the hospital, or hey, how do I get counseling? I just was struggling to keep up with it. And while I'm not in the business of closing deals or creating products, I am in the business of caring for people. And so I desperately needed help to get back to people in a timely manner and in a very personal way. And so, out of absolute desperation, I remember where I was putting my daughter to bed. I was actually laying on her bed, and it had been a very stressful few years of ministry. And my virtual assistant had left me a few months prior. I was trying to manage things on my own, and I started Googling, is there anybody out there that could just help me manage my inbox? And of course, that's how I came across Inbox Done, and the rest is history.
Yeah, take us forward. So you came
Yeah.
across us. I can imagine there's some apprehension about handing over all of this, especially like you mentioned, it's such a personal type of email you must deal with sometimes. So how was the experience taking your two assistants from us and beginning to work with them?
Yeah, I will be honest. I was super leery. I had the opportunity to meet you first, and so that helped me. I was able to not only meet someone who's leading this company and visioneered it, but I still was like, I don't know. Like, I'm not a business. I'm in people response, a first responder, especially for soul care and emotional care. And so I thought, man, I don't know if they'll be able to help me with this. But you calmed my nerves right away in our conversation, and then the onboarding process started. And I would tell you, every Inbox Done employee that I met, it was as if they were, no pun intended, but reading my mail. Like they just knew, it was like they knew me. They knew what I did. They figured it out. The research that was done prior to any call was mind blowing to me. The way that I would be researched by your staff online to understand my world or my church or my voice. All of that was really unbelievable. And then we went through the matchup process. I remember being pretty nervous about it. I kept saying, hey, you understand this is highly sensitive. The things I deal with are very personal. Are you sure you're going to find somebody that would match my kind of environment and be able to speak the language that these people need? And I was constantly assured by the staff that, yeah, we'll find it. And if we don't, we'll let you know we can't, or we'll reassign it to someone else. And I was assigned with two amazing virtual assistants, inbox managers that are just mind blowing to me. I have not traded them. I want them for life. Like they're the best. And so I think that speaks to the matchup process, Yarrow, that you all have is the process to get me connected with them. Every day felt like I was waiting for Christmas. Are they going to find them? Are they going to find them? It took some time, but the intentionality of that time led me to someone that now I can run far and fast with. And they're the best. And I really attribute that to the matchup process.
Okay, so you got these two great people, but there's still the whole them doing the job and answering the emails. Can you explain how you went through that? And obviously the first day you watched emails being sent not from you and how
Yeah.
that felt.
Yeah, I would say they were so well trained to know how to onboard. They created a knowledge base about me. They just spent months getting to know me and my contacts, my VIPs, the way that I write emails, how I handle things, what tools I use. And they just spent a lot of time getting to know me. And we were doing stuff alongside each other at the beginning. So even emails, they weren't too quick to say, I'm going to write that as you until they really knew they had my voice. And so just even the drafting for me, the getting to know each other, getting things done, and then they would check in, is that the way you want it done? Is that right? The way we learned each other was amazing. And then they created this knowledge base that they wouldn't even show it to me for months, which was great. That was all intended because they said, we want to make sure we get it right before we show you. And then they show me this knowledge base about my life. And all of a sudden I was like, wow, somebody knows me better than I know myself. They just had learned me so well. And so then it got to the point where I wasn't having to watch or do things alongside them as much. Really, they could just run things and respond to people. And then we would figure out our own rhythms through some of the tools that we were using. So it took a little while for us to learn it. Trust, I would say trust was there from day one, but the trust only grew and has grown over the last couple of years as I've worked with them closer.
Okay, so last question, maybe second last question. What does it look like today in your life in terms of before and after? Is there a certain amount of time it's freed up, and how are you using that time instead? What does the day-to-day workflow look like?
Yeah, I will tell you, I couldn't have done the last couple of years if I didn't have them. And so I'll explain it this way. I had three other staff, maybe even four other staff on my team that were doing some of the functions, executive functions that I'm involved in now, but they all left for various reasons. Some of them got new jobs or better opportunities, and that was fine. And I actually made the choice for our organization to not rehire those positions because I wanted to save us money and right size our staff to the size church we are. So I'm saving money for our church because of my inbox managers. They are able to quite literally take my life in the executive role that I'm in and take on the jobs of several other people that are now that their jobs are on my plate. And we manage all of that together. And I didn't have to replace those staff. And I frankly just could not have done that. So that would equate to maybe even several $100,000 that they've saved me in order to be able to get done what we need to get done. Is it always smooth? Do we still get overwhelmed? Absolutely. But I've found that they've just continued to blow my mind with the way that we can get stuff done and in a timely manner and get back to people quickly.
Would you recommend, and especially I think if there's any other people who are running a church or something similar who are watching and listening to you now, they might be hesitant, believing it's A, hard to justify the cost, B, don't
Yeah,
believe someone else can answer an email or
yeah,
complete a task that's not them, especially with something like I can imagine a person emails with a deeply spiritual, personal life
yeah,
decision question. You're not thinking the assistant's going to reply to that, or
yeah,
obviously there's
right.
boundaries. How far is this going to go? What would you recommend to people like that?
Yeah, I would say you should not have any hesitation. And I'm going to speak of it in two ways. The matchup process that Inbox Done has to make sure that they find you a person that can really stand in your stead, or a couple managers that can stand in your stead, use your voice. You shouldn't hesitate. The matchup process is world class. Inbox Done has figured it out and it's the best out there. I found my last virtual assistant also through a company that matched me up, and she was wonderful. We ran together for 8 years. But I'm telling you, the extensiveness of this company and the way that Inbox Done matches me up has gotten me a partnership with these two ladies that far surpasses any other partnership that I could have with an assistant that might even be on site and helping me in the day to day. I've never met my inbox managers face to face. I may never meet them face to face, but they're as integral a part of my life as anybody in my whole organization. And I trust them with everything. And so I would say, yes, even the most sensitive parts of your life, even the most particular parts of your life. I'm a A-type personality with a lot of particularities, and they learn all of those things and they go right alongside with me. And I have learned to have zero hesitation to hand them literally anything in my life and let them run with it. So lean in, trust the process, trust the matchup process, and trust that the more you trust the person or the people that you're matched up with, the better the process will go for you.
Okay, Josh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. And I look forward to many more years of our team working with you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. It's a joy. Thanks.